Very good day to all of you. I am Infant with Let's Learn English channel, and as you all know that we are working on the sequence of the parts of speech. How do they work? Parts of speech are all the words that are noun, pronoun, verb, adjectives, so on and so on. As we are on the sequence of adjectives, before moving towards the function, the form, and the meaning of the adjectives, I want to tell you a very interesting thing. Whenever there will be D and J together, it's a thumb rule of this language that you won't pronounce D. The more examples are the word adjacent, the word adjective, adjourn. So you will try to skip D into it. D, you cannot pronounce D and J like D and J like adjective or adjacent or adjourn. So it's adjourn, it's adjective, it's adherent, whatever. Okay. This is the next series of the parts of speech, adjective. Adjective, as name suggests, as we have the very classical definition of the adjectives that they tell us about the noun. But adjectives have to perform two duties. One is the head of the adjective phrase, like the head of the adjective phrase. I told you the difference between phrase and clause. Phrase is a little part of the clause. So it could be the part of adjective, it could be the head of adjective phrase. Okay, the dukes can be very rich. Can, very rich. This part is called AJP, that is adjective phrase. So dukes here we are performing the duty of noun. And this adjective phrase, we will check, can very rich. Rich is adjective, very is modifier. That is modifying or intensifying it, intensifying the situation. The dukes can be very rich, so it's an adjective phrase, mean it's the part of this clause. So this, you can define it that by checking this word, we can say that this is part of this adjective phrase. So it's an adjective phrase, and it is that rich is participating as the head of this phrase. Adjective had rich, very intensifier or modifier, that is giving intensity to this situation. Okay, the second function of the adjective is as the modifier of the noun phrase. How? The rich duke. The rich duke. So here, this is had, noun. This is basically noun phrase, that is NP. The is modifier, rich is adjective, and duke is had noun. The rich duke. So adjective has to perform two duties, as the head of the adjective phrase and as the modifier of the noun phrase. When this word pass this test, we are sure we can say that this is an adjective. Okay, by moving toward the meaning of the adjective, this is basically the function of the adjective. While moving towards the meaning of the adjective, meanings, adjective typically denote some properties, some qualities, some attributes to the noun. And these attributes and these qualities specially specify or narrow down to refer the noun. Like if I say clever boy, clever will specify this adjective, this word, adjective will specify what we look for. Beautiful city. Beautiful city. Red hen. Hen noun, red adjective. Okay, but if I say the hand is red. You can check the noun is here and adjective is here. If adjective is at the place of predicator and if it is telling you about the subject, here the subject is hand, so it will become as predicator. So if it will come in this way to be used as predicator, that will be called complement. Complement adjective. And if it comes in this way, the red hand, if an adjective comes before noun, it will become attributive adjective. And if it will come after noun by following the copula like is, this copula verb to be. So like the building is, the building is here is working as to be. The building is green, tall, high, beautiful, whatever the word you can use with building. But here you can say the building is, they are accepting the copula verb to be. So we are not using present continuous, it's to be. The building is green, tall, high, beautiful. And again it is complement adjective, not the attributive adjective. Now we will talk about the form of the adjective. If you will talk about the form, you will be very clear about the forms of the adjective that they take er or st as suffixes at the end, like clever, cleverer, and cleverest. Most of the time, they change into comparative and superlative degrees. So you can say by looking at the er and the est that they could be adjective. But again, it's not a proper test to check whether it's an adjective or not. Okay, most of the forms that are very common and not very long, they change into er and est, that is superlative and comparative and superlative. But the big words and not very common take most and more and most as adverb to change them into adjective, like more beautiful, most beautiful, and if we add at the end the degree of adverb to, you can change this word so by saying so funny, quite beautiful. But you can use this er, est or more or most with a gradable adjectives. Gradable adjectives are that they change on a continuous scale on different places. Like you can change the size, you can change the color, you can change the height, like small, short, heavy, light, small, short, heavy, big, red, blue. If you are changing on a continuous scale, they are gradable adjectives. You can change them. But what if the adjectives are not gradable? If you cannot change them like that? If the adjective show you the nationality and gender and the sex of the people, what will you say then? Can you change it male or maleist? No, you can't. Wooden is a quality. So wood, if you will say wood, it's non-gradable. If you say wooden, it's non-gradable. But if you will change it metaphorically, that his acting and the play was very wooden, it means that it was very wonderful.
and it was awesome, it was fabulous. So you're giving a metaphorical meaning to this non-gradable noun. But non-gradable noun adjectives are not easily to change, not very easy to change. You can use degree adverb with them, like so, funny, like so, utterly, merely, quietly, miserably. They change non-gradable nouns, but you cannot use them everywhere. You cannot say very male, you cannot say male wombat, or you cannot say, you cannot actually properly use. So you have to check on different tests whether they pass the criteria, whether the word pass the criteria of adjective or not. Okay, adjectives change when they are gradable. They do not change if they are not gradable. Okay, till then we have read. Let's come to the wrap up. We have read the function, form and meaning of the adjective. To check whether this word, what this word is functioning in this said sentence, in the written sentence, how will you find it? What is this specific word? We will move towards the next part of the parts of speech. Till then, goodbye to all of you.